You're in a conversation. There is a pause. Your mind goes blank and you start talking about anything just to fill the gap. As a result, the sentences come out half formed. Because of that, the other person gets confused. Today, I'm giving you 3 strategies to handle silence so that never happens again. This is for B1 learners who can hold a basic conversation, but freeze when those moments of silence appear. Especially in higher pressure situations like when talking to native speakers or at work. Here's what most learners do, and probably you too, when silence comes. You panic. You start talking fast about anything just to fill the gap. That causes confusion, and now the conversation is worse than if you would have stayed quiet. And it could also be the opposite. For some people, go completely silent. That can make the other person feel uncomfortable, and the conversation ends. Now, both these reactions make the silence worse. Luckily, there is a third way. Realizing that silence is not your enemy. Silence is simply a pause, and a person who can handle it calmly controls the room. So let's talk about those 3 techniques. Number 1, just let it breathe. Not every silence has to be filled immediately. A pause of 2 or 3 seconds is completely normal, even in native speaker conversations. If you panic and speak immediately, you'll often say something weak. If you wait 1 second, you give yourself the time to think and come up with something that actually continues the conversation. So, just let it breathe. Allow the silence to be there. Strategy 2, the thinking phrase. Now, while a silence of 2 or 3 seconds is normal, you don't want to sit and stare for too long. If you need more time, do what native and fluent speakers do. Use a thinking phrase. This is exactly what you think it is. Not random words, but just a signal that shows that you are processing, that you are thinking about what to say. These are simple phrases that buy you 3 to 5 seconds extra. And they signal confidence, because only people that are comfortable will take their time. Think about it, because when you're nervous, you either start speaking faster, breathe shorter, and take less breaks, or you shut down completely. This is the confident option. So let's practice together. Listen and repeat out loud. That is a good question. Let me think about that. Where do I begin? That is interesting. You see, these are natural phrases that give you extra time. And if you combine them with strategy 1, just let it breathe, you will give yourself enough time to come up with an answer. Do make sure that with thinking phrases, you avoid fillers like or A simple is fine. Now, in some situations, a topic is simply done. There are no more questions, or you simply don't know what to talk about next. In those cases, you want to use strategy 3, the reset question. When a topic is finished and silence follows, use a question to start a new one. The word so at the start of a question is one of the most useful words in English conversation. It signals a natural shift without needing any explanation. So practice this with me. Listen and repeat out loud. So, how long have you been here? Can I ask, what do you do? Actually, I meant to ask you. These are a few very common questions that reset the topic. What is your go-to sentence? Let me know in the comments. So those are 3 strategies you can use to handle silence. Number 1, let it breathe. Number 2, the thinking phrase. And number 3, the reset question. Now let's see if you got it. I will give you 5 situations. Let's practice what you can do in those situations. Listen to each one, decide what you would do, and I'll give you an example after a few seconds. Here we go. Number 1. You answer the question and now there is a 2-second pause. What can you do? Yeah, just let it breathe. Count to 2 or 3. If then nothing comes up, just say, what about you? Remember, 2 or 3 seconds of silence is perfectly normal. Number 2. Someone asks you a question and you need to think about it. What can you say? You could say something like, that's a good question. Let me think about that. Then, take your time. Number 3. A topic just ended and it's silent. What can you do? Yes, this is the right time to reset. You can ask something like, so, have you always lived here? Or, can I ask, what do you do? Situation 4. You started a sentence and lost the words halfway through. What do you do? Yes, take a moment and say something like, how can I say this? Then continue. That one phrase buys you time. Situation 5, the last one. The other person is clearly waiting for you to speak. What can you say? Yes, you can use a thinking phrase. Something like, where do I start? Then just start anywhere. Well done. How did that practice go? Let me know in the comments. Now in your next conversation, when there is a silence, count to 2 before you fill it. That is the whole exercise. Just let it breathe. Because one pause handled calmly is worth more than 100 vocabulary words. Now if this helped, subscribe. New live lessons every Monday and Friday with the videos every Tuesday and Saturday. See you in the next one. Let me know what you would like to learn next in the comments. Thank you for watching.